Good evening, this is Nerd as the Human, and welcome to this time-lapse of Medieval 2 Total War, where today we looked at capital-only starts, which did mean it took just a little while to get going, but did also mean we had some interesting little empires shaping up. A few shout-outs to our survivors here, because the Papal States, well, pretty much as ever really, seem to completely demolish the map. But the likes of Scotland, well done to Scotland. They actually have corner of the map all to themselves, probably the only real strong faction left for the Pope to take care of, who did take Algiers right at the very last of that recording, I suspect, as his only current war. Yeah, I suspect they're going to go down before long. Milan, Portugal somehow still survive. They're allied to each other, and Hungary, also allied with the Moors, somehow surviving in the corner of the map. Danes are actually allied with the Pope. You probably could have guessed that by now based on the weird nations sitting around. And there are some Mongols somewhere floating around, hiding in the forest, I guess, because the star is around here. Yes, here we are. That's all that's left of the Mongols. But they exist, so fair enough to them. Of course, one of the strange things in this game was that Venice were immensely strong and kind of completely collapsed, thanks to the Pope, of course. They're actually the fourth faction to go down, which is a bit unfortunate. Burn bright but not long. That seemed to be Venice's plan on this occasion. But Venice and the Pope do tend to be the two strongest factions from my current playing of these time lapses, so we'll have to come up with a way of nerfing them in the future. Something you might have noticed, though, that might have contributed to it on this occasion is that, well, yes, we have more cities than we do normally, and that's because just the way that I set up the game was that I kind of cut a few corners when I did the modding and basically just deleted the cities from the faction, which basically reverts them, a bit like Durazzo in the original file, just to a basic little village. So basically we have a lot more cities than normal, which I guess does help factions like the Papal States or Venice, who have good troops coming out of cities. Nonetheless, it is the normal thing, so we might have to think of a way of nerfing them in future. We have had a little look at playing with the religion before, and if you ever looked at that video, or indeed looked at the Holy Roman Empire as a Muslim faction campaign, you'll probably know that it does cause some strange things to happen. So maybe we can play around with a papal system. That might have some kind of impact, but any suggestions down below would be very much taken in mind. A few honourable mentions though. France did of course actually capture London for a time, so well done to them, before obviously being knocked out by the Scots. The Turks did actually hold off the Venetians very well for a while, until immediately capitulating to the Papal States, and obviously Timurids went almost instantly afterwards as well. Hungary for a while taking the Holy Land, so well done to them, even if they lost it to a rebellion, not even a jihad. But there we are. Would have felt Spain for actually holding on to some of, well, not quite the Holy Land I guess, but they held on to Egypt and North Africa for a long time. Did paint the map with a huge swathe of red and yellow, which was quite beautiful to look at. And well, a dishonourable mention for the Holy Roman Empire, who just sat in Frankfurt, and they never took a single city, and then they died. Weren't even taken out by another faction. Their family members all just gave up. So the spoon of shame truly goes to the Holy Roman Empire here today, and perhaps suitably the Papal States are clearly the victors. With that though, I will leave you. I am Thomas, this is Nerd as the Human, and this has been another time lapse of Medieval 2 Total War. Thank you, and bye-bye. Flaming horses! It's a flaming horse! No one would stand in the way of the Reich! No! My archers. So I look at this guy. I don't want to die! But of course you shall, my friend. Oh yes.